Hello, everybody. This is Donda with Wholesale Hotties, and my other co-host with us tonight is Monique Fell. Hello, Monique, up in
Hi.
Washington State. I'm in Phoenix, and our guest tonight is Heather Irving. And Heather, we would love to hear about your process, how you got started in real estate, where you're from, and a little bit about you.
Hello. I'm here in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area. I currently reside in Hampton, Virginia. And I got started in real estate in about 2018, 2019-ish, COVID era.
You're young. You
Um,
look so young.
yeah, and so I was in the childcare space. And so, during that time with COVID, childcare and all that, it kind of like came to a halt.
Oh.
And so I started like I was always interested in real estate. And so I was like I had more time to kind of research and figure out more of what avenue I wanted to go down. And guess what stuck out?
Like face?
Wholesaling.
Oh, wholesaling. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I started with a mentorship called Wholesale Inc. Have you guys heard of that?
I have not.
No.
Yeah.
I think they're now called TTP or something like that. It was back then it was Wholesaling Inc. And so I joined Wholesaling Inc. and I found my first deal because it taught me to go on Facebook Marketplace
Uh-huh.
and look for garage sales. And like everything must go sale. And
Oh.
so that's how I found my first deal. Just doing that. Of course I had to like cold call and all that stuff, but I was so scared of cold calling. Like I would call and I'd just be shaking like hello. Because I got cursed out so many times. But I started back in 2018, 2019. And then I started with wholesaling, of course. And then I ventured off into fixing and flipping. And I still do that. And from there, I started like doing buying holds, getting rentals. And from there, I do co-living. So that's like my main focus. That's what I focus on right now is co-living, doing property management for other investors as well. So that's where I am.
Nice.
Co-living. So can you kind of we've talked about co-living before, but can you kind of give for people who haven't heard what co-living is, can you kind of give a little bit of a synopsis of what is co-living and what does it entail and what does that mean, co-living? Because some people might not have an idea of what that could possibly.
Co-living is like community shared housing, basically. And then I also break it down to people and say it's like Airbnb meets rooming house. So it's more comfortable for people. It's shared housing. It's community based. It's more to encourage social interaction, for people to come together, share resources, and also just awareness of do we really need that much to live? So conscious living, so that people, can use what they need and not overuse the environment and things like that. So that's what co-living really is just use what you need, share your resources, and build a community. So
So you mean to tell me that like you have like I don't know 4 or 6 bedroom house and you got a bunch of four to six people, six strangers who come into house and they're sharing everything.
pretty much, and the key to it is organization, good house rules, and yeah,
Okay.
delegation, and just building that sense of community, and it works out, believe it or not.
When you say community, are you talking about like they're all like-minded, like they're all nurses or they're all engineer or what? I mean, yeah. What are you talking about?
Community in a sense of people just being there for each other. So it's not necessarily based on like all veterans or all traveling nurses. It's kind of like it's a mindset. It's like we are a community of people that are going to be there for each other. We understand that we don't need a lot to live. Let's share our resources and make the most out of life. And so, a lot of people who live like this, they they want more experiences than using their money on bills. So they rather spend what they need to survive and then use the rest of their money to go live their life, you know? So that's what co-living is about.
Oh, I see. So their spendable money now is spent on having fun rather than buying a house or
Working,
renting
working,
a house
working,
or
working themselves to death. Like
yeah.
just working,
All the
and
time.
paying their bills. It's like, okay, do we really need to spend thousands of dollars every month to live? Or can we spend this money over on the island in Bali with some friends and work, you know? So
Yeah.
So it's
that's what
not
it's
necessarily
about.
a frugal living source. Like, oh, let's be frugal about everything because we have to. It's more like we want to have more experiences.
Exactly. Because it's people from every walk of life that come in. It's people who, okay, it's like a widow. I don't want to live by myself anymore. They can afford to live by themselves. They don't want to. You might have somebody that's a student that comes through, or digital nomad, or it's like all different walks of life. Like just
Corporate living.
somebody, I just want to save money. I don't want to have to spend all this money on rent or bills. So yeah.
So you got into the co-living space after you did the wholesaling, and tell me like how many properties are you juggling for co-living right now?
Well, um, it just happened so fast. I Right now we have 101 rooms
Oh yeah,
that we partially we own, and then partial are other investors that need property management. So yeah, and that happened, I'm gonna say, within the past 6 months. So
and do you see that you have to educate people on co-living in order for them to embrace that idea or to rent the rooms out? Do you have an education piece that goes with that, or some sort of campaign or something that you do online or somewhere else that you get these people who would be interested in co-living?
yeah, so I have my website is colivingnva.com, and that's for investors to come in, and they don't have to be accredited. So they would partner with me on properties and invest with me on properties. And on that website, you can easily go on there and just type in your information, and I'll get like an email and see all your questions and everything. I also do like consultations with investors that want to learn about co-living. Um, and that'll be like in my calendar link. I don't know if I shared that with y'all or not, but um, I do consultation with investors to teach them about co-living. It's like a one-on-one type of coaching, and they ask me any questions that they have about co-living. I explain to them what it is, and we also go through like different scenarios. So I'll go to their property that they might be interested in turning into co-living, and I'll let them know like, hey, this might work, this might not work, or this will definitely work, before they even get into it. So and that's important. It's just picking the right property, because you can't just turn any property into a co-living property.
So how much are you furnishing of a co-living property? Are they like bringing their own beds, or do you have that kind of stuff? Do you have TVs? What all do you have there?
Yeah. Um, I furnish a lot. I do a lot. I'm not like the average co-living operator, but yeah, we'll have TVs. We have TVs. We do the bed frames, the mattresses. We do the mattress protection, the waterproof protection. We
Hmm.
do. We also, like, some of the beds will have box springs, and we also protect those as well. We throw a rug in there. We do a dresser or a chest. We put mini fridges in the rooms. trash cans, the trash bags, like toilet paper, paper towels, like
Oh,
hand soap.
wow.
Like, so we want them to come in and just need to only bring their clothes and food. Um, and it works out also. And we do that also because we can price our rooms at a higher price range. And people are, it's still a deal. Like, they love it. It's like, oh, well, it's totally worth it. So,
So you
Yeah.
provide paper products like every month for them then, or just when they first move in?
so what I do is I buy 6 months worth at a time. And I have housekeepers that go through once a month, and they will re-up everything on their cleanings. So I don't buy it based on the use of the people in the home. I buy it based on what I can do. So I buy my 6 month stock, and if they run out before 6 months, they understand that, okay, I need to go buy my own stuff. So that's how I do it.
Okay.
Do you get any kind of benefits for buying in bulk? Do you use like a business credit card, or how do you optimize these bulk supply purchases?
So I go through Amazon, and Amazon has bulk purchases. So the more you buy, the less you spend. And I have a business account with Amazon. So yeah.
I didn't know Amazon had business accounts like that. That's good to know.
Yes, they do. Yep, they do. It's awesome. And it comes fast. Like, yeah, it's good.
That's
I love
great.
Amazon.
So what about cleaners? Do you have somebody that comes and cleans on a regular basis, or to kind of give you a report what the house is looking like, just to make sure everything's staying kosher? I mean, I know you don't have time to go check every one of your properties, or do
Yeah,
you?
I have a housekeeping crew that goes in each property once a month. And the members that are there, they understand, like, to clean up behind themselves in between time. But they have like a checklist. The housekeeping team, they have a checklist that they have to follow for each property. They have to take pictures, and it all comes through the system, so I can see like the before and afters and all that stuff. Yep.
So you mentioned the tenants, they know to clean up after themselves. So that's another educational piece. So do you educate the tenants on co-living to get them all working cohesively, or even to just get them to come and apply?
So for each property, we have like a group chat. But also the most important part is the interview process. So before I even, move somebody in, I have that one-on-one interview and make sure that they understand what co-living is and what's expected of them. And if they have an issue with expectations, then I know that they're not meant for co-living.
It's not in your house.
Right. But the group chat is very important, where they can communicate to each other and, say, and that's one thing that I explain to them, is communication is everything in this type of housing. Even if you're more of an introvert and you don't, you know communicate that well, just leave a sticky note. Put a sticky note on your roommate's door. Leave a sticky note in the kitchen. Use the group chat. Send a text message. And so everybody understands how to communicate in this type of housing.
That's interesting. Yeah, I like that idea. I mean, because you talked to, I mean, you probably have already talked to these guys, but Pad Split, and
Hmm.
they're yours is, I could see the flow of it and working and stuff, and like you said, adding more cost, but you're getting more money to cover that. How did you calculate that? And is it okay to do pads or co-living in HOAs and stuff? Do you have issues with any HOAs, or do you just
I
avoid
stay
them?
away from HOAs. I stay away from HOAs. Um, I just don't want any issues with that. But because, I mean, I know some people do use or they do their co-living in HOAs, but I just stay away from it because of the restriction on whatever they got going on. And with co-living, most of the time, even though they're really nice houses, there are really nice houses close to transportation in other parts of the city. So those are the properties that I go for. And when it comes to calculating how much, I look on Airbnb. Um, I look on what rent rates are. I look at Craigslist. Like we go and like we do a real like market research for rent by the room in that area. And then um, I make sure that I am at that number or a little below the monthly cost. So they'll have, their nightly rate. And I use that nightly rate to calculate how much somebody would spend per month. And then I also look at rent rates and I'm like, okay, well, they can get a whole apartment at $900 a month, but can they get a furnished apartment at $900 a month or a furnished room at $900 a month and utilities included? So it's still, if my room is $900 a month, it's still cheaper than an apartment. So that's kind of how I price my things. Did I answer all your questions?
I think so. Yeah. Have you looked into pad split, or was this just something you started doing
So
before?
pad split is not. This is not their core market here. So that's what kind of pushed me to go ahead and just do it myself.
Create your own.
Yeah. So, I definitely went to pad split first.
Try to find out some tips from the pros before you started.
Yeah, I mean, and first of all, co-living is not for the faint of heart. It is a very intense investment strategy. The returns are really good, but it is a lot of hard work. It is a lot of grit that you need to have to do something like this. And so, of course, I'm going to pad split first, but they were like, that's not our core market. So, and I was like, what? And so I just, I said, fine, I'll do it.
So are you self-managing them, or do you have a manager for these?
I self-manage. I have a very small team. We had a couple of people and they kind of was like, oh, this is not for me. And it's a lot, and so that's kind of where I am. I have very, very small team right now, and I am looking for help.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Somebody you
So
want to get
if you're looking for a position.
I'm looking for help. So if anybody's interested in learning the co-living industry, looking for work, please reach out to me. Looking to hire some people. Please. Some good, consistent folks.
Right? That'll stick it out.
You may have already said this, Heather, but what was the price range per room?
So my cheapest rooms are like $650 a month. And my most expensive rooms are $1,275 a month. And those are usually the rooms that are like the master. It might have a balcony. It might have of course it has the bathroom included in it. So those are the pricier ones. But they're all furnished.
And do you ever rent to families who are looking to co-live, or is it just single people or couples, or what are the rules so far as that goes?
So right now it's just single people, and maybe they have like a boyfriend or a fiance or something like that. But right now it's only single people. We have not been brave enough to allow like single parents, like a mom and a child or a dad and a child, just because of the liability that may come with having a child in the property. So it hasn't come yet, but that is something that like tugs on my heart because I get a lot of those phone calls. So it's something that I'm definitely trying to figure out how to do. I'm looking in like to other organizations that provide housing for single parents and trying to see how I can also incorporate that. But right now, we're just not brave enough yet.
I imagine there's equal housing because, I'm working on my continuing education stuff for my real estate license. Mm-hmm. And of course, now I'm in the section where you can't discriminate, right? But except under certain circumstances. And I wonder, is there a way legally to do a single mom with a single mom, right? It's like there's two single moms sharing a house, or single dad with a single dad, right? That way you're not mixing, different gender kids or something like that. That might be a wild idea.
That's exactly like the lane we're looking at is trying to get a couple houses just for like single moms and single dads. And I've been to a couple of the houses. They're nonprofit organizations, so I don't know if that's because, well, I do know, and that's how they can kind of say who
Hmm.
can
Yeah.
in because they're nonprofit. But it's definitely something that we've been leaning towards, trying to figure that side out for sure.
Makes sense, because I was reading that churches can say like who can stay on their church property, right? And they don't
Mhm.
have to deal with those types of laws. So it makes sense that you say that, not for profit can do that.
Yep. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So have you thought about getting houses through and just leasing to those entities for that purpose? Say, this is my goal with these homes, and let them lease them. So then that takes the liability off
I
you.
have. I actually met with a couple ladies. So like I said, it's something we're working on, just trying to figure out how we can work together in a partnership and make it all make sense. But yes, definitely, definitely. Because at the end of the day, it's great returns, but I want to live with purpose, make sure that
Mhm.
I'm also doing good in the world and not just, here to just make money. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Pay it forward. What is your largest home you have? And are you adding rooms by taking away living space? Or you just, if it's a 4-bedroom house, you buy it, you keep it as a 4-bedroom? What does that look like?
So the biggest home I have is a 7-bedroom. It
Wow.
could be more, and it still has the living space. Um, the only thing I didn't do to that property was convert the garage, which I know I can. I'm like, let's just give them some space. I don't want to overcrowd because I love it when they walk in and they're like, wow, this is a really nice space. It's big. They feel comfortable. They don't feel overcrowded because then it almost feels like a rooming house. And I don't want that feel. I want it to feel, nice, comfortable, like feel like a community and not
Right.
just a rooming
An
house.
area that they hang out and play games or watch TV together or something like that. So because Pat Split, they pretty much can take a 3-bedroom, 2-bath and turn it into like 8 bedrooms and 2-bath, but they take away the living room and the dining room. And
Mhm.
basically you have the kitchen, laundry room, bathrooms, and all these rooms. And so now
Mhm.
you want to sell the house, you got to tear all that out to put living
Mhm.
space in it. So
Mhm.
you're not doing that. You're not. So this
Oh,
house.
don't get me wrong. I have a few properties that are like that.
Okay. Okay. It
Um,
just depends on where it's at as to whether you do that or not.
right. So, not necessarily for me. If I did that, I have a big like space, a big shared space where I can put small cafe tables. Like it has that space where people can sit grouped in small groups, still, communicate with each other. So it's not
You're
it's
not
not all
spilling all
closed
this
off, if
space.
that makes sense. It's not
Yeah.
all closed off. They still have space to kind of like, talk to each other, hang out and conversate.
So you will take like maybe the living room and convert it into bedrooms, but maybe leave the dining room so they still have a space to hang out. Is kind of what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I only do that if I have that extra space, like you're saying, for people to kind of just, stretch out so they don't have to sit in their room all day.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you like when you're talking about buying furniture and it's a fully furnished, do you kind of like decorate it or to do anything with the interior, like a theme, or are you trying to go for a specific type of environment or culture or feeling when there's a walk, when you walk in, and what are you trying to accomplish with it, with the purchases of the interior furnishings?
So I don't do much decorating. I kind of want them to come in and decorate and make it their own. I just provide the furnishing.
Okay.
Because I've seen it where, well, it's been ladies that come in and they even I started off providing linen. I don't do that anymore
Yeah.
because people, even though it was all brand new, people still want to like make it their own and hang curtains and hang their pictures and stuff like that. And so I allow them to do that. Yeah.
Even in the common areas?
The common areas it's not too um decorated, but there are like pictures that will hang, maybe some artificial flowers to give like that, a bit of life. So when people walk in, they see greenery, but it's not overly decorated, to where people feel like, ugh, this orange is too much, you know. But it feels comfortable when they walk in. It smells good. It's comfortable. Yeah.
And then where do you predominantly advertise the rooms?
Oh man, everywhere. Like I think it's close to 40 different websites.
Wow.
So it's everywhere.
Didn't know there was that many.
Thumper. Oh yeah, I'll give you a few. Can't give them all.
Right.
But Zillow, of course. I'm on like all the websites, apartments.com, realtor.com, anywhere that you can post about real
A
estate,
rental.
a
Yeah.
rental, that's where I'm at. Like,
Yeah.
but roomies.com is one that is really good. You can get a free account there. You can post your rooms there. They also give you the option to boost it or promote it, and it's really cheap. I think it's like $10 to do that. And I get a lot of people reaching out from roomies.com, Spare Room, Zumper, and Hot Pads. Those are the top ones that people respond to.
What are you looking for in your investors? I know you said they don't need to be accredited. Is there a minimum amount? How do you secure it? Very curious about that part.
So the minimum amount is $5,000. So if you go to my website, it gives a little more information on CoLivingNVA.com. And I have like a fractional account. And so once I find a property, people can invest with me on that property. 5,000 is the minimum. But if you got it, more than that, we'd love to have you. Because at the end of the day, I would rather partner with one or two people versus a whole gang of people. But I just like for people to kind of get their first deal. That's like what people know me for, is helping them get their first deal. And so that's why it's set at 5,000. But
And for the people that don't know what fractional might be, can you kind of give an outline of or a summary or something of what is fractional? You said that you have a fractional account for the investor.
So fractional, you can start your own community on fractional. So I have 2 communities on fractional, one for any of my fix and flips, and then the other is for co-living. One is like an initiative I'm working with the city of Hampton to which is going to be really big. I'm having them partner with me with co-living, and they'll be giving me underutilized buildings that they're not using, any land that they're not using, in order for me to do co-living with. And so that's where a lot of investors will be able to jump in, because I'll definitely need you then. And fractional, you just come on there. When I post a deal on there, you pretty much come in, ask any questions that you have about the project. If they aren't answered already, it'll be a Zoom or a webinar where we talk about the deal, answer questions. And if you feel comfortable with investing, you could then, pledge or commit to investing your money into the deal and becoming a partner on that deal. And fractional allows you to do it at a minimum of $5,000.
And
So
what type of returns do you like to, or do you project, or do you like to project? I know you can't ever guarantee, but what do you like to say is a fair range?
So right now I'm currently partnered with an investor. She came in and she brought the money for me to acquire the property, for me to furnish it, and to renovate it. meaning adding walls, adding a bathroom, and things like that. She came in, she brought all those funds. She gets 75% of the income every month until she's paid off. And then when she's paid off, we go 50-50.
That's really sweet. Hey, I sent you a friend request on Facebook because I'm interested.
Cool. Yes.
More money.
Yeah, and I feel like and then it's not everybody. So when I do co-living, it has to be an investor who understands that it takes time to get started.
Yes.
Like you're not going to see immediate returns, because like I said, I'm renovating this property, I'm furnishing this property, and I'm marketing it
Right.
to get people in. And if you want to see returns right away, honestly, I'd rather not work with you. You just gotta understand, like it takes a good 90 days for a property to get acquired, get renovated, and get tenants in. And that's on the fast side. So if you're okay with that, then let's go. I'm
I would
okay.
hope most investors are on a 30-year trajectory. I know I am. I mean, when I put money in, I'm thinking, you know, what's this going to look like in 30 years? And if there's cash flow along the way, that's what I like about it. It sounds like your opportunity is that, you know, there is a cash flow component, there's an equity component, and that's where money is. It's in the equity and in cash flow. So.
Exactly. And I forgot to mention, yes, and this investor that invested with me is also getting 50% of the equity of the property, as well as the 75% cash flow until she's paid back in full. And then we switch to 50-50 cash flow once she's paid.
Super sweet deal, Heather. Truly. She's
Thank
lucky.
you. I like to take care of my people. We like
Awesome. Yeah. Sounds great. So how do you set up the rules? Are your rules just standard throughout each of the properties? Because you mentioned that at the beginning that, you know, you have to have house rules, which would totally make sense, because do they like rotate like vacuuming and basic chores, or how does that work? I mean, you got that many people.
So what I do is, first I create I create a schedule, and then I put it into the group chat, and then I allow them to kind of, you know, okay, I can do Monday, Tuesday. Like, so if I have 7 rooms, there's 7 days in a week. Somebody will take one day of that week. And then it'll rotate. So if somebody has to work and they can't do it, then they'll talk to each other within that group chat. But what I tell them within a group chat is that I'd rather them communicate to each other than for me to come in and tell you guys what to do. Because then I feel like, you know, it's not a community. Like, it's like, you know, me coming in and just bossing everybody around. Nobody wants to be bossed around in their own house. So I just encourage them to communicate to each other. I'll start it off, but they always come in and kind of change things around.
Do you find, Heather, that have you had situations where people can't get along and you've had to step in and do anything, or do you find it just works its way out, or how involved do you find you have to get sometimes?
This is the part, ladies. This is the part where I say co-living is not for the faint of heart. Yeah. Okay. What I have had to step in a few times. Did y'all hear that screaming? That was my son.
Yeah.
In the background, it's okay.
No.
That's my son. He just has his moments. But if y'all hear it, y'all know I'm here. I'm not. But so, and that's a part of the interview process too. I talk about conflict resolution, and I give them the steps. Like, okay, you guys need to come together. You guys need to talk. Some of the properties I have do have a house manager who also I've spoken to at the beginning and say, hey, these are one of the things I'm going to need you for. You might need to step in and be a mediator. And if they're okay with that, they know that that's one of the steps they have to take. Okay, let me go find the house manager and let's try to like do some conflict resolution between us within the house before they reach out to me. Because if I have to step in, um, you know, I'm gonna have to write somebody up.
Or
I'm
okay.
Not going to be
because I
pretty.
give them because you called me, so that means that the issue can't be resolved and I have to do it. And so also within I do membership agreements, but within the membership agreement I also include the house rules. And so if they're violating the house rules, meaning disturbing the peace, being violent, they have to get I give them a notice for that. And I'll give them 24 hours to fix it. If they don't fix it within 24 hours, then I'm giving them notice to leave.
Mm.
Yeah. Because like I said, this is a community-based housing.
Right.
When you sign that agreement, you agree to maintain what I built. And so it's really very low tolerance when it comes to conflicts. And then, like I said, it's the interview process and asking the right questions so that you're not placing people with other people that won't get along or just people who aren't very community minded and don't understand shared housing. So it starts at the beginning with the interview process.
And you mentioned a membership agreement? Is
Hmm.
that like different than a lease, uh, or do they also do a lease, or you just do a membership agreement?
Well, so what I learned here in Hampton, Virginia, well, I'm working with the city so that they can put it in the Muni code, co-living in the Muni code. Um, so right now it's in a process where they know what co-living is, um, but I gotta make them say it. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta make them put that definition in the Muni code. Because what I found is that they even have something called shared baths. And that's in their Muni code. And so they're like, yeah, we have shared baths, so I know co-living won't be a problem. And I'm just like, okay, well, let's go then. So I'm just working with them on that. And I'm saying that to say I use membership agreements. Membership agreements are signed under a housing organization, which is my company, Shared Abode. Shared Abode is what the lease is signed under. So the property would be signed with the lease with Shared Abode. Shared Abode would be the leasee. And then Shared Abode has the membership agreements for the tenants, but the tenants are actually members. And so um, when I went to court to have um, a member removed, the city of Hampton was like, "This is a resident. Like you still have to go through the process of eviction, you know." And so it's all a work in progress. I'm still using my same documents until we all kind of get on the same page with how this process works. Um, I'm okay with being the first to get it done. They're open to it. They're excited about co-living. They're like, this is going to help us. This is what's going to solve the issue that we're having with housing. So they're all on board. It's just moving like super slow. But that's the structure of it, is having my company, the property management company, um, as a leaseholder for the property, and then creating membership agreements under that lease. So the house is actually leased with a lease. So the members, I know this sounds complicated, the members are not tenants, they're members. And so all of this is kind of being worked on within the city, getting the right wording for this type of housing. So
And then that gives you a little bit more clout to be able to remove somebody quickly instead of having to go through a process that everybody now is living with this person that needs to be removed, and they can't deal with that, and then you are stuck trying to get them out of the property.
Exactly. Because yeah, you don't want to have to live with somebody who's violent and have to wait a whole 30 to 45 days before this person can legally be removed from the property. And so, yeah, that's what we're working on. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, I'd imagine each state's going to be different too. So you have to check where you're living.
Each city, maybe.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why that interview process is so important. Just making sure who you putting in these properties actually understand and can follow the rules. And yeah. So
do you do a background check?
Yes.
Credit and background, or just background, or both?
Credit, background, housing. And then I have a list of questions on my application that I asked, and then also that interview, that one-on-one interview that I have.
What's your minimum credit score?
I don't look at their credit score. What I look at is collections. Collections, and I also look on their credit to make sure that everything matches what they say. So if they say they work for this employer, I should see that on their credit report, their name and everything like matches. But I say collections because I've been in situations where, oh, my check got garnished. And so it's important to look at those collections and see how old they are. And if it's like too many, I'm just like, oh.
And do you stay away from people with evictions too?
Evictions, so I only allow one. And I understand with this type of housing, most people are going through a transition. And most people that want this type of housing is going to have one of those issues. It's going to be something with their credit. It's going to be something on their housing record that is stopping them from getting an apartment. And so they come to CoLiving for a fresh start or trying to build. And so I'm not too harsh on it. And I really make my decision at the interview. If I feel, this person can, handle themselves with some decency and respect, I'll move forward with them.
And do you ever transition into, or have you ever thought about transitioning into like corporate housing, corporate rentals, the whole house to, either somebody who's had something, in through the insurance companies who they put people in houses when they have floods or fire damage, or a corporate person is moving into a city and they need a place to stay. Have you ever done any of that type of rentals?
Well, I have rentals for that specifically. So all of my rentals aren't CoLiving. So I have some rentals specifically for like the insurance claims that I use for them. But right now, Furnish Finders usually brings in like most of the corporate people. But I don't specifically market CoLiving to a specific demographic, or because I feel like everybody kind of needs CoLiving. It's affordable housing. And I feel like everybody is going through some sort of transition at some point in their life. And so I don't, make it for one type of demographic.
So what makes you decide, I'm going to do this house CoLiving and I'm going to do this one for the insurance companies? Furnish
Location. So like you mentioned earlier, like if it's a really sweet deal in an HOA, that would probably be something I would use for like an insurance type, for like a family that got displaced. But I wouldn't use that property in the HOA for CoLiving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned too, with your co-living people, a lot of them probably don't have cars, and they need to be close to a bus line or some type of transportation, right? And shopping and so where maybe more of the upscale ones for the Airbnbs or whatever, you want it more a quieter area, I would guess, possibly. Is that kind of part of it too for you? Like you said, location, location, location. So
So yeah, so most of the people, even people like the corporate people, they might come here without a vehicle. But all of my co-living properties are really close to bus stations. So like one of my properties is literally right outside. Um, so is I try to make it as convenient as possible. So that goes from location, being close to transportation, being fully furnished, having all the small amenities that people need. So convenience is like number one with co-living for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what neighborhoods do you avoid? Is there certain ones you avoid because of just it's a bad neighborhood? I guess you would classify it as a C neighborhood or something. Do you avoid those areas, or are
I
you
do
trying to
not.
help?
Like class C, class D, those are the best ones.
Oh, okay, okay.
um I,
So
I
you're
don't
gonna have
go for
rules,
class
but like
A or class B. I don't do those. Even
yeah,
though it might be a house in a perfect location in a class A neighborhood or a class B neighborhood, I don't go for those because um, most neighborhoods like that don't want that type of housing in their neighborhood.
they're gonna complain, right? Yeah, that makes
Exactly. And
sense.
yeah, I've
Yeah,
already learned my lesson there. And I just go for, even if it's in a class C, class D neighborhood, um, it's still decent houses there. Like the houses are still only 2 or 3 years old, new construction homes. Um, you just gotta, pick the right ones.
right. Now, do you have a
Hmm.
landscaper or a yard, somebody who comes and takes care of the yard as well? Then, so you're
Yeah.
pretty much hands off, other than just managing and getting the right people in there.
Now, yeah. So managing is all hands on.
It is. Yes,
I
true.
mean,
Very true. It
but
is.
landscaping, yeah, I have somebody that comes in, keeps the yard clean. I think it's one property where, yes, it's one property where the one of the members, they actually take care of the lawn. So
Oh,
we'll pay them to take care of it. It's their business. They do landscaping, and so they take care of it. But yes, for the most part,
well, that's nice that you're
yeah.
able to help contribute to their living expense, to help them in the way that I like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm. Yep.
How do you manage parking? Do you try to find corner lots if you can to where there's more room to park, or how do you do that one? I know you said
Yes.
some of them have cars, but I assume some of them do.
Yeah. So, um, I also only allow one vehicle per person. Um, but I make sure that it has a driveway, or maybe the front yard is extra big and I can add some cement or gravel to make more driveway space. Um, but for the most part, it's one car per person. And then, like I said, it's not really a lot of vehicles at these properties anyway. Um, I have a property where nobody has a car.
Hmm.
But I still make sure to have space for at least four cars.
Yeah, and then it's just first come, first served.
Pretty much, pretty much. And I had one of the members say, can I use the garage? Absolutely not. Because that's just like,
Yeah,
you use the garage, you're gonna get blocked in, and then y'all gonna be cleaning.
exactly, exactly.
So yeah.
And then do you have like your cleaning supplies in the garage for the cleaners, like your extra paper towels and that kind of stuff? To use it more for storage?
It depends on the property. So some properties I use it for the garage, and most of them I have like a utility closet.
Okay.
And they'll have like the key to get in there or the code to get in there to replenish and replace supplies.
Okay. So are you, when you're ordering that stuff in bulk, are you sending the 6 months to that house, or do you send it somewhere else and just have them restock it every so often?
I send it straight to the house.
Okay.
Um and either me or another team member would make sure that we're there to like put them in that utility closet or in that the garage.
Got it. Yeah. That's good.
Co-living, y'all.
Yeah, I know it's kind of scary. We got a house here, SubTo. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, but we're thinking about doing something like that. But it'd be like women that have lost their spouse, going through a divorce, and they just can't quite afford, like you said, to live on their own. And then also kind of a comforting for people like these ladies where they can become friends and do stuff together so that they're not so lonely. Because I've heard that from several friends going through divorces. My dad passed, and my mom's, time was, she's like, the evenings get really lonely,
Yes.
So that's kind of an area we thought about going, but to make sure it makes sense, to run the numbers, like how do we, and what do we stock the house with, or what don't we, or what, those kind of things. There's a lot to it. It's like,
yeah. I can give you a list only for you.
Okay, I love it.
But that's one of the reasons for co-living, that social interaction. It was studies that show that it decreased loneliness and depression. So co-living has a really, really big purpose, and a lot of cities are starting to realize that and incorporate that in their housing. So
What's crazy is you guys probably all remember a generation where we lived 3 generations under one roof growing up when I was a little girl, and you don't really see that as much. And so it's almost like we have to create our own families these days, which is a little strange. And so that's kind of what it reminds me of, is a substitute for family in a lot of ways.
Exactly. That's how I grew up too.
Did you really?
I mean, yes. I feel like my first co-living home was where I grew up. Like as a child, like because my grandmother raised me, and so she would always have a space where her adult children, they could come back home and restart if they needed to. Anybody in the church that needed a restart, they can come in. It's like it was like her house was the house of refuge. So
I know.
looking back and thinking back, yeah, definitely co-living. Yeah.
We just had party lines.
Gotta bring it back.
Heather's not old enough. I don't think Jennifer's old enough either for party lines.
I live way on the boonies, so
no, I'm too young.
Yeah, party lines where you pick up the phone and your neighbor could have been on the line, like, so you didn't.
You gotta wait.
Actually,
I know you listen to what their conversation is.
Yeah, that too.
No loneliness.
That's
I
funny.
feel like I remember that.
I love it. Yeah. No, I love what you're doing, and I think there's a huge need for it. And I got another area I want to help with teens coming out of foster care and stuff. That's been on my heart. Used to take kids in and stuff. So
it's great.
Now that we're getting settled, in fact, I found a couple gals that were in a group home over here, and I want to do more investigating and helping somehow. But
that's great.
Yeah.
Housing with purpose.
Yeah. Just have to figure out which way the Lord's going to lead me to, So
that's right.
See what happens. I love what you're doing. I'll stay in touch with you, Heather, because I think you can give me some great insight on some of these. And
definitely. I would love to help.
Yeah. I'd love to.
So you have.
Go ahead.
You have what's the best way for somebody to get a hold of you, Heather, if they wanted to reach out to you?
You guys can reach me on Instagram at CoLiving Queen. Just DM me help, and I will come running. And
is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's correct.
CoLiving, and it's
go there, and DM me, and then I'll send you a link with my Calendly link, and you guys can book some time with me, and I would definitely love to help. It takes a village, y'all. We gotta get co-living everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
They legalized it finally in Seattle.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it was needed. I can't think of a city where it's more needed. Gosh.
Right. And I went to the city, I did my presentation. They were like, oh, we need this. This is the solution. I'm like, yeah.
It's true. It really is.
Like, come on, let's do this.
Now you're teaching them and kind of leading the way. So this is kind of nice. You can kind of like, hey, these are things to make this work. You can kind of able to get those things in there to make it easier.
For the people who have rentals underwater in Florida and other markets that are seeing a tank, would you recommend CoLiving as a way to maybe get their cash-on-cash returns up or get their rentals up so that they're not so underwater with their debt service? Or is there anything that would impede them from being able to do that, do you think, Heather?
I absolutely would recommend CoLiving. Again, it is all about location. Just making sure your property is in the right area to do it. But CoLiving, you'll see, even if you're not seeing any profit, at least you'll be breaking even and not have to like come out of your pocket every month to cover, your expenses.
Your debt service, yeah.
So CoLiving is a solution all the way around for investors, for homeowners, to help cover any of their debt service. So highly recommend. If you guys have questions whether or not your property is in the right location, like I say, you can hit me up on Instagram, CoLiving Queen. Send me your address. I can take a look at it and let you know whether or not it's a good fit for CoLiving.
And a good location.
Very generous.
Yes, thank you so much.
You guys are welcome. Thanks for having me.
We're so glad you came on today.
Yes, yes. Well, hopefully you got great plans for the Christmas holiday coming up. And I know. I was I'm like, it's almost here. It was so late that it's like there's hardly any gap between the two. So
I just feel like 2025 just started. I'm like, what? We're done?
Right? Oh, my Lord. I feel the same way.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, ladies, I think that wraps us up for this episode, and we missed Sharon deeply. I don't think she's ever missed one. So
yeah, she's traveling, right?
Sharon is here in my town.
I know she was, but she was like, "Hey, I need you to do this tonight because doctor's appointment. I just got out and I'm stuck in traffic." And so I'm like, "All right, we're gonna figure this out."
Yeah. It was great, y'all. I appreciate you guys.
Well, we would love to have you on again sometime, Heather. And we really do appreciate what you're doing. And it's like you said, it's just much needed nationwide. So
thank you.
You guys reach out to Heather, and I bet she can help you get started in your. Oh, and plus she's looking for people who do want to learn and kind of help her with her business and hire you guys. So
yes, I'm looking higher. So anybody in the industry or want to learn the industry, please reach out to me. I need to hire at least 3 people.
Do you need them in your area?
Yeah. Do they need to be local?
Do they need to be local?
No, they don't need to be local.
Okay.
What roles are you looking to fill, Heather?
So there's a lot of customer service. There's a lot of admin work. Leases, terminations, notices, a lot of it's just a lot of admin. It's a lot of customers.
Were these W-2 or 1099?
1099.
Okay.
Great question for you. Yeah, right. And for those who don't know what a 1099 is, you want to explain that too, Heather, real quick?
1099 is an independent contractor. Basically, like you're responsible for your taxes.
Taking the burden off of you. You got enough on your plate. You don't want to have to deal with having employees.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the basics of it. Like you're not. Yeah, that's the basics.
And how many hours a week per position do you think?
I'm thinking part-time, maybe 20 hours a week. The customer service, that's the hard part for me because it's constant. It's people reaching out like constantly. Gotcha. It's like, it could be all around the clock, but I don't expect somebody to kind of be, responding all around the clock. But it's like it's a constant
So that might
influx.
be salary, and I'm not a tax person, but I think you can put a 1099 person on a salary because I have a labor agency, not pitching, but I'm just saying that some people pay some of my people on a 1099 basis as salary, right? But who I have in mind actually isn't anyone in my agency. It's a personal friend of mine named Sharon. So she's looking for admin. So anyways, I'll let her know about you.
Yeah, let's connect.
She's very reliable.
Okay. That's what I need.
Yeah.
I need that, really.
Yeah. Well, thanks again. Anybody else have any more questions, or are we off for the night? Are we good, girls?
We're good.
All
Thank
right,
you.
we're good. Thanks again, Heather. We look
You're
forward to
welcome.
seeing you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Nice to meet
Good
you.
night.
You too.